Good evening and welcome to ITV News. This is Wednesday night's calendar.
Yes, thanks for joining Sally and me. And here are tonight's main stories.
Claims of a cover-up. The son of former MP Anne Cryer, who highlighted grooming gangs in Bradford 20 years ago, says victims suffered because she was silenced.
They just wanted to ignore it, pretended it wasn't happening. Their reaction was, this is a myth and you shouldn't be perpetuating this myth, because it turned out to be absolutely true.
In deep water, the major fine for contamination which killed hundreds of fish in South Yorkshire.
Where the heart is, we're joined in the studio by Heartbeat's Tricia Penrose as we celebrate 70 years of ITV. Also tonight...
My name's Jim. I'm 80 years old. I've just jumped from 15,000 feet out of a plane to raise money for Yorkshire Cancer Research, and I'll be telling you all about it. Thank you.
So first to claims of a cover-up by Bradford Council to tackle grooming gangs more than 20 years ago.
Back in 2002, when the former MP for Keighley, Anne Cryer, first raised concerns of child sexual exploitation in the city, many refused to believe her, claiming she was exacerbating racial tensions.
But when she was proven to be right, her son, Lord John Cryer, who was also an MP at the time, says rather than tackle the issue, it was swept under the carpet. Anne is now in ill health, but her son John told our reporter Amelia Beckett the recently announced national inquiry into grooming gangs must uncover the extent of the abuse in Bradford, and those who didn't act must be held accountable.
7 women came to see her, and of those all 7 women had daughters, in one case 2 daughters, who'd been through the grooming process, had been raped, had been plied with drink and drugs, from an early age, from the age of about, as I remember, from about 11 years old. As she looked into it, it became clear that it was even worse than the 7 women had made out. And she couldn't make any headway with the council or with the police. Council, they just wanted to ignore it, pretended it wasn't happening. Their reaction was, this is a myth and you shouldn't be perpetuating this myth, because it turned out to be absolutely true. But what led to the early prosecutions was that David Blunkett was then Home Secretary, and he deserves great credit for this. David Blunkett changed in fact I spoke to him about it recently, David changed the guidance for the Crown Prosecution Service. And the guidance was changed so that the mother's evidence could be given greater weight. It was at that point that the first convictions were secured.
But at that point, were they seen as an isolated case, not kind of this systemic problem that...
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's only when you've got a lot of cases that you can say there's a definite pattern here, there's something broader happening across the country. And it was only when you got the other cases and it got widely reported, then you could see that there was a pattern. It needs tackling. I suppose to some extent it has been tackled. We've had a lot of prosecutions, but the idea that it's not still going on, I find that difficult to believe.
And on a local level, obviously Bradford itself has never had an in-depth inquiry.
No.
And you speak of, the victims being the centre of this. I've spoken to some of the victims who say they think Bradford's probably the worst, but it's just never been fully...
From what I know, everything that I know, that's mainly been through conversations with my mum, but with others as well, including in the CPS. It wouldn't shake me to the core if I found out that Bradford was the worst. And as you said, it's never been subject to an inquiry. Now we're going to have a national inquiry. I mean, that needs to get underway.
Do you think there has been a cover-up on a local level?
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely certain there's been a cover-up. When the weight of evidence is so great, there are so many people going to prison, you can't pretend that, oh, it's a myth. I mean, then it becomes actually quite malign, perpetuating that idea. Yeah, so I think there was a cover-up. I think the inquiry will reveal that. And and attacking people like my mum, and there were other people who early on were saying, look, this is happening, and they were attacked for it. Now, attacking somebody who is drawing attention to such an appalling scandal, that is in itself a cover-up. So yeah, there was a cover-up.
Well, Amelia joins us now. Amelia, a lot's changed since 2002. What have Bradford Council and West Yorkshire Police had to say about this?
Well, you're right. It's very different since 2002. A lot of work has gone on in both the council and the police to secure convictions for more than 50 perpetrators, totalling 570 years, and there's more cases to come. But in response to John's claims that there was a cover-up here, the leader of the council, Susan Hinchcliffe, who was not in post at that time, has told us that in response to our interview, they will ask John if he's willing to speak to the relevant authorities about his recollections of what happened. She says they've already told the current Home Secretary that Bradford is willing to participate in that national inquiry and have asked for an early meeting with the Commissioner once they're appointed.
So when will we know more about that inquiry?
Well, the Home Office told us today that work is underway to appoint the chair of that national inquiry, but it seems that they're not yet in post. As for whether Bradford will be examined, they said that all existing representations for that to happen will be passed on.
OK, Amelia, thank you very much indeed.
Well, as we said, Anne Cryer was MP for Keighley until 2010. Well, a short time ago, I spoke to the area's current MP, Robbie Moore, and asked him what he thought about the way Mrs Cryer had been treated while raising concerns about grooming across Bradford.
Well, deeply frustrating. Anne Cryer was lucky enough to be the Member of Parliament for Keighley between 1997 and 2010, having raised the issues around child sexual exploitation, gang-related grooming many a times, but yet ignored by senior people within the Labour government at the time, and indeed wider individuals at a local level that wanted to effectively hound her by calling her a racist, which was completely outrageous and inappropriate at the time. And dare I say now, with me advocating for this 2 decades later, really nothing has changed in terms of really trying to convince local leaders across here in Bradford and across the wider West Yorkshire region to really get behind getting an inquiry into this absolutely heinous crime.
What do you believe is the scale of the problem? We were told there could be thousands and thousands of victims. I mean, do you believe that?
Absolutely. I've been consistently saying since I've been the MP here in Keighley since 2019 that the scale of the issue across the Bradford district into child sexual exploitation will dwarf that of the likes of Rotherham, Rochdale, Telford, Oldham, where we've previously seen inquiries. Indeed, when you look at those inquiries, they reference young children being trafficked through the Bradford district. We know that there is historic crimes in this issue that has been going on, dare I say live cases, but yet no inquiry across the Bradford district yet.
But if this all comes out, what's that going to do for the image of Bradford? I mean, people in power will worry about that.
Well, to me, this is about the difference between right and wrong. We need to make sure that those survivors, those victims and their families are reassured that the state, whether it be national government, local government, West Yorkshire Police, or dare I say, any organisation that has safeguarding responsibilities, is doing their job as they should be. And at the moment, there is a huge level of uncertainty around that, both in relation to historic cases and live cases. So, to me, this is absolutely nothing to do with the concern about an image of a place. This is about doing the right thing, the difference between right and wrong. And I would absolutely strongly call out anybody that is simply looking at concerns about what this might mean for an image of a place. We should be more concerned about doing the right things by those where the state, local government, national government and others have failed those victims and survivors for far too long.
Mr Moore, thank you for joining us on Calendar this evening. Thank you.
OK, you're watching Wednesday's Calendar. Kerry will be here later with the all-important forecast. Also tonight...
Heartbeat, why do you miss when my baby kisses me?
We go down memory lane to look back on one of Yorkshire TV's most enduring dramas.
Yes, join me, Tricia Penrose, later on in the programme for all the latest heartbeat gossip.
And we meet Jim, the high-octane octogenarian, and find out why he's just jumped out of a plane at 15,000 feet. More of the day's news first, though, and the family of a woman who was murdered in West Yorkshire have paid tribute to her, describing her as a beautiful soul. Courtney Angus, who was 21, was found dead on Saturday at a house in Norfolk Street in Batley. Her family say their lives have been turned upside down at the loss of their gorgeous daughter, who will be missed. Michael Moore, who's 37, from Norfolk Street, appeared before Leeds Magistrates Court today, charged with Courtney's murder. He was remanded in custody and will appear at Leeds Crown Court on Friday.
A 19-year-old army private has died at Catterick Barracks following a training session. Harry Johnson joined the 2nd Infantry Training Battalion in April this year and was described as having enormous potential as a soldier. A spokesman said he collapsed and died after an exercise at the North Yorkshire base last week.
Police investigating the death of Bailey Chadwick in a hit and run in North Yorkshire have made a second arrest. Bailey, who was 19, was walking home between Pateley Bridge and Glasshouses earlier this month when he was hit by a car at Lupton Bank. A woman in her 20s is being questioned by detectives on suspicion of perverting the course of justice. A 24-year-old man arrested on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving remains on bail.
Yorkshire Water is currently in court being sentenced for polluting a waterway in South Yorkshire, which killed hundreds of fish. Millions of litres of chlorinated water was allowed to flow into a dike connecting reservoirs in Penistone. Sheffield Magistrates Court was told that there was no proper system in place to prevent it from happening. On one day alone, 430 dead fish were found in the water. And we'll let you know what the sentence is in our late bulletin.
In the latest saga at Sheffield Wednesday, it's being reported that the players have been told not to expect their salaries for July to arrive on time. If they don't get their wage packets, it would be the 3rd month in a row that the club has failed to pay players on time. It's also being reported that players may refuse to play in their friendly with Burnley on Saturday as a result. The club has declined to comment on the situation. Now, a Sheffield charity has welcomed a new online system which is being set up to try to attract more volunteers to the sector. The number of people who give up their time on a regular basis has been steadily falling in recent years, with charities feeling the brunt.
According to government figures, only 1 in 6 of us regularly volunteers. Now, a new online platform aims to link local charities and people with the potential to help out. Kevin Ashford reports.
That's one without beans.
Preeti Shetty has been a volunteer at this lunch club for around 9 years. She now has the job coordinating other volunteers who give up their time to cook and serve the meals.
People from different backgrounds come to the lunch club. You interact with them, you learn so much about different people. It's so good for, especially in this society where, everybody's becoming so individualized and everybody's in their own little bubble. You come out, you meet so many people in the community. It's just wonderful. That's yours, Betty. Thank you. It's a small one.
The number of volunteers like Preeti, though, is declining. 5 years ago, according to a government study, 23% of people were regular volunteers. But by last year, that number had fallen to 16%. However, in a survey, 48% of people questioned in Yorkshire and northern Lincolnshire said they would volunteer if they could do it in an ad hoc way, which is why this charity is setting up an online platform to connect charities and would-be volunteers on a flexible basis.
People are very busy, there's lots of work commitments, there's lots of family commitments, and traditional volunteering doesn't always work for everybody. So the impact that we're hoping the volunteer platform will have is make it more bite-sized, make it as easy as possible for people to get that first step on their volunteering journey.
An animal charity in Sheffield says it'll be using the new platform to attract volunteers.
Fostering is the big one that we would love to encourage people to consider if they're passionate about helping pets. We do also have some other volunteer roles that will be coming available, ranging from administration roles. We have delivery drivers as part of our food bank service. And we also have things like cleaning and DIY. So if anyone wants to get involved at the centre, we'd love to hear from you as well.
Thank you very much. Welcome, darling.
The volunteering platform will become available to the public in autumn, when it's hoped more people will give up some free time to help serve their community. Kevin Ashford, ITV News.
Yes, and well done to all our volunteers out there. Sally, have you ever been tempted to do some volunteering?
Well, yes, it is a long time ago now, Ian, but I was a volunteer police officer, a special constable. It was Year of the Volunteer. I heard an advert saying, can you do 4 hours a week? I did considerably more. But...
Wow, my goodness. So could you still get me in an arm lock then if
I'm sure I could
if
I really wanted to.
Drop me to the floor?
Perhaps, maybe later.
Well done to you anyway.
The ITV Evening News continues at 6:30. Here's a look at what's happening with Mary Nightingale.
Coming up on the programme. Bidding farewell to their favourite bad boy. Fans gather in Birmingham for the funeral of the Black Sabbath star Ozzy Osbourne. Tsunami warnings across the Pacific after a powerful earthquake off Russia sparks fear and evacuations. And under attack by donkeys, the New Forest residents who've learnt to dread Bin Day. Well, do join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Mary, thanks very much. Now, they say nostalgia is a thing of the past, but you can't beat a good wallow, can you? And tonight, we're taking a look back at a staple of ITV Sunday nights for nearly 2 decades.
Yes, you'll remember Heartbeat, of course. It ran from 1992 to 2010 and portrayed a wistful look at policing in rural North Yorkshire in the 1960s, although it did get a bit racy at times.
It did, and as we mark ITV's 70th birthday this year, we've asked one of the cast, who made more than 300 appearances in the Yorkshire television drama, to join us. But first, let's take a look at Tricia Penrose in action.
Well, wow. So here I am, in the back of Beyond.
Hey, now watch it.
Well, it is. It's miles from anywhere. Took me ages finding you. Uphill, down dale I went, getting lost, asking the way at every turning. I mean, blimey, look at it. Is it usually this crowded?
Well, I'm delighted to say Trish is with us now. Trish, what's it like watching that back so long ago?
Very strange. And the Scouse accent, I mean, I hope I don't sound that Scouse now, do I? Or do I?
You do to us, I think, in Yorkshire, yeah.
Oh, it was. But what Gina was saying there, you know, it's the back of Beyond. That's exactly how I was feeling. You know, I got off the train at York and then the taxi was taking me to Goathland, where we film. And I was thinking, where on earth are we going?
What was it like, though, being so young and being such a big TV hit? I mean, it must have been incredible. Work with all those big-name actors as well that you were with there.
Unbelievable. I mean, I was only signed up for 8 episodes originally. And they said, oh, Gina's going to be in 8 episodes. She's coming to on probation to Uncle George. And that was that. And then, you know, 18 years on, I was still there. So I grew up on the show. And all the superstars that had been on it. I mean, Daniel Craig. I only brushed shoulders with Daniel Craig, unfortunately. But yeah, how fabulous. Because someone was saying that it was repeated the other week. And they said, oh my God, you were with Daniel Craig. And I was like, oh, right. Oh my God.
And at that time, you'd be a virtual unknown like everyone else in the show.
Exactly.
It was such a launch pad for people's career, wasn't it?
That many guest famous actors in it. I mean, I've got to say, my favourite was Gary Barlow.
Really?
Take that, yeah.
What did he do?
Well, he played Mickey Shannon, and he was a convict of some kind. I can't really remember the story; it was that long ago. But he was involved with Gina, and he sang at the end of the episode. But he was great, and it was obviously when he'd split up with Take That, and his grandma said to him, "I'd love you to go into Heartbeat." It was her favourite programme.
And all these years on, you must still be known as Gina to millions of people. Do you still get recognised and people want to talk to you about her?
Yeah, I still get called Gina. And, you know, every year we do a Heartbeat rally. We've done that for 8 years. And people still come from miles and miles from Scandinavia, Australia. And, you know, they're queuing up for like 3.5 hours to meet myself, David and Vanessa, who played Rosie.
And they want to meet Gina, of course, because she was quite a character. She seemed to sort of fall in love with some bad ones, didn't she?
She had some terrible romances. I'm very unlucky in love. I mean, even when she eventually married Bellamy, that all went disastrous because they lost the baby, Daniel.
Yes.
And then Phil got shot.
He died in tragic circumstances, didn't he? Yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't like to have Gina's life.
But it was such a part of modern day culture at the time, wasn't it, Heartbeat?
Yeah.
It was huge. I mean, there was a show every Sunday night, you know, for people like me, it was like getting ready for school the next day.
Right, yeah.
And the famous theme tune, you know, which was a big hit, wasn't it?
It was getting 18 million viewers, you know, in its day.
And what about being part of Yorkshire Television? Because obviously it was such an iconic brand, wasn't it? And an important part of the ITV network.
Absolutely. I can't believe it's 70 years.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
70 years of ITV.
I know. Because I did Emmerdale as well, so I've worked for YTV quite a few times, you know.
So you're a part of TV history, aren't you?
I am. Glad to say, very proud. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Well, look, thanks ever so much for coming in. It's great to remember those old days.
It was great watching that. It really took me back, that did.
And you haven't changed a bit. You haven't changed it.
Love you. Thank you.
Lovely to see you, Trish.
And
Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Oh, you see, she loves me.
I loved her. She was great, wasn't she? Lovely
yeah.
to see her. Great to have her in the studio.
Fantastic. Yeah, great to look back at ITV 70 years. Now then, if you're out and about in the region today and happen to look up, you might have been lucky enough to witness a rather unusual sight. That's because it's not every day you see an 80-year-old man heading towards the planet's surface at more than 100 miles an hour.
That's right, but today, pensioner Jim Horner from Liversidge and 17-year-old Tora Clapham from Cleckheaton, who's blind, did a tandem skydive for charity. And Adam Fowler went to meet the adrenaline-loving duo.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's 80-year-old Jim Horner from Liversidge, who, shortly before hurtling through the air at up to 120 miles per hour, had nerves of steel.
Not long till you're getting up there now. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I mean, people have said, were you scared? I've never been scared in my life. It's just where you're brought up. You're fastened to a guy that's done it thousands of times, so...
You're still jumping out of a plane, though?
Yeah, well, there's more people die caving than what they die skydiving. Because when you're going through a gap like that that's full of water and you don't know what's the other side. Sorry, I should have said water. It's been a Yorkshireman.
Jumping alongside Jim was 17-year-old Tora from Cleckheaton, who's blind. Together, they're raising money for Yorkshire Cancer Research.
I really want to raise money for charities. There's been a lot of people that have raised money for me, and I want to do the same for other people. And I also really enjoy skydiving. It's really freeing and really fun. My grandma died of cancer, and I think everyone deserves the chance to have treatment for it, you know? And the only thing I'm scared of are needles. I can't see how high I am anyway, because I'm blind, so it doesn't really bother me.
I've lost two sisters, a sister-in-law and brother-in-law, all through cancer. And as well as many friends and acquaintances, I just think it's a worthwhile cause.
Have you got any message for any other 80-year-olds that...
What, another 80-year-old lunatic? No.
Falling from 15,000 feet, the initial free fall is 60 seconds before the parachute's deployed at 6,000 feet.
Welcome back to planet Earth. How was that?
That was amazing.
Back on terra firma, I caught up with Jim and Tora.
Jim, how did that go then?
Fantastic. Like I said, anybody that's never ever done that, they don't know what they're missing. When you leave the plane, that initial shot, wow. But then when parachute opens, you fly back up again. It's an experience you'll never ever forget.
It was so cool. Like, it's a feeling you won't get anywhere else. Like, it actually feels like you're flying.
Watching from the ground, a very proud dad.
She makes me proud in everything she does. She puts her heart and soul into things and really goes for it. I'm just showing that even if you're blind, you can still do it, and there's no stopping you.
She's absolutely fantastic. I love it a bit. Yeah.
Jim's already planning 2 more skydives for next year. The high-octane octogenarian, who says he's never been afraid of anything and isn't going to start now. Adam Fowler, ITV News, Hibblestow Airport.
Oh, huge congratulations, fantastic.
Rather them than me. I wouldn't fancy that.
No, I don't fancy it.
No, they're braver than I am. Kerry, have you ever fancied it?
Oh, absolutely. What, flying through the clouds? Absolutely brilliant.
Not too many clouds around today.
Yeah, it was all right. Back on terra firma, we were all right, actually. This is Lister Park, Cartwright Hall, I believe, in Bradford. A big thank you to Steve Davey. We got to around 24, just over 24 Celsius, and some rural parts of North Yorkshire were 6, 7 Celsius last night, so quite a big range from rural parts under clear clearer skies and today in the sunshine. A big thank you for all your shifting season photos. Of course, the blackberries started coming early July. We don't need to pick them until September if they're still there. Oh my goodness. And the conkers are out. I mean, we don't do conker fighting, do we, till September, October. So definitely an early flourish of many of our fruits and our seeds. This time last year, 30th of July 2021, was Storm Everett. It didn't really affect us, but there are rumours that we could be getting a summer storm on Monday. High pressure basically nudges into the southwest on Friday, and on Friday, way out in the west, there's this area of low pressure. It's got to travel all the way across the Atlantic, so there is a bit of a question mark, but it could be a windy one by the time we reach Monday. Here's the forecast for in between.
A clear start makes way for a day of ancient discoveries. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Yes, we did okay today. There's a little bit of cloud around first thing. We did have a weather front sinking southwards, generating a few showers, but for most of us, at least for a time, from the morning and into the afternoon, we saw some breaks in the cloud and some sunshine coming through. And you can see that on and off quite clearly on the satellite picture for today. There's this little cluster waiting in the southwest, and it's trying to push towards us, but what we think it will do is stay further south. So for most of us, it's dry with increasingly clear skies as we head into the early parts of tomorrow morning. Just I think for South Yorkshire, North East Derbyshire, North Notts, a bit of cloud, maybe some low cloud and dampness at least for a time. Towns and cities again mid-teens Celsius, but could just dip into single figures in rural sheltered spots in the north, very much like last night. 5:18 and 6 minutes past 9. ISN times for tomorrow. Great start, some warm sunshine for the morning, mostly dry and bright. Still a bit of a breeze from that northwesterly direction, and it will drag in a little bit more cloud for the afternoon and one or two showers sparking off for the afternoon and early evening, one or two of which could be on the heavy and potentially thundery side. Temperatures are up a notch to 23, possibly 24 Celsius. Then we look to the far north during the very early hours of Friday. There could be this little cluster working down the North Sea, but by the time we reach dawn, it's gone away. And for most of us, again, variable amounts of clouds, some warmish sunny spells, but also some scattered showers to end the working week. For the weekend, Saturday, definitely the best day. Dry, bright, breezy with highs of around 23, but a spell of rain from the west for later on Sunday.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
There you go. It's keeping us on our toes this
Isn't it?
summer holidays,
Lots
isn't
to
it?
keep our eye on over the next few days. Thanks very much for that, Kerry.
Looking forward to Saturday, though. That looks all right, doesn't
It's
it?
going to be a good one.
Yeah.
That's it from us for now, though. I'm back at 10:30 and Mary is next. But from all of us, good night.
See you tomorrow night at 6. Bye-bye.
Bye.